Hey guys, it's Aaron. So I want to take a look at something. This was actually a request that came up. I've actually seen this on our forums a couple times too, but I had somebody ask me how I would go about drawing a weld. So not just two pieces connecting, but the little bead of molten metal that's between the two pieces connecting them. The messier the better was one of the comments. Like how to make it look like, it's obviously a weld. Because I think the idea with welding is if you grind it and clean it up nice, it's nice and smooth, but if the weld's messy, it's harder to model. So let's take a look at that. I have an idea of how I would do that, so I want to give it a shot and show it to you, and let's take a look at it right now. All right, so I have two groups here. These are meant to represent metal plates of some sort. And I'm going to start making some geometry. We're going to throw it down on here. We are going to use solid tools, so I have solid tools over here. But it's going to be pretty basic, actually simple tools we're going to use here. So let's start with the Polygon tool. So I'm going to come over here, grab the Polygon tool. I'm going to draw a polygon. And actually, I'm not going to use polygons. I'm going to come up here. I'm going to use a circle. I'm going to use a circle with 8 sides. Why a circle instead of polygon? The reason is I'm going to just draw a shape here on the ground. The sizes aren't going to really matter. Resize this stuff as needed. If I pull this up, this is why I use a circle instead of a polygon. When I'm done here, I want these shapes to be kind of organic and smooth. So if I use a circle, it automatically smooths the edges like this. It's less geometry to smooth. So I'm going to create a circle with 8 sides, pull it up like this, and come in here with an offset at about, I don't know, halfway or so. Then I'm going to select that front. I'm going to go to move and move that vertically. So I'm creating kind of like a dome shape. That's what I'm looking for. So right now, before I go any further, I'm going to take this line right here and I want to smooth it. Actually, I want to smooth all of this. So I'm going to triple click, toggle soften and smooth, and then just bring it up till all the lines up top disappear. That's what I'm looking for. This is going to represent one chunk of weld. I think that's a technical term. I'm going to triple click this, make it into a group. I'm not going to create a component because I want these to potentially be a little different, so it's just going to be a group. I do want to make sure it's solid though. So I don't want any extra pieces inside here. For some reason this isn't showing up as solid right now. If I move this vertically, it's because when I made the group I didn't include the ground. So let me undo that. I will triple click, that'll include the piece on the bottom. And then when I make it a group, it should pop up and say it's a solid group. All right, perfect. So now I'm going to take it, I'm going to grab it by this corner, and I'm going to lay that corner right into the corner of the two pieces. Perfect. Now I'm going to rotate it. I'm going to rotate it on the red axis, right where these two pieces meet. I'm going to take it and rotate it down 45 degrees. So that creates just kind of a little lump there. So I could actually, right now, without doing any more work, I could take that, use move with the modifier key to just start moving copies over, kind of move them not too perfectly, but every couple, like how an irregular pattern of a line of weld like that. That could work. That could be good enough. I could actually take that right now. I could grab all of that. I could use solid tools on it and use the outer shell and click and then take that, run smooth on it. So it's possible that that right there might be a good enough weld. I could take that, do a little deformation, maybe I'll scale it, stretch it out a little bit, and yeah, that could probably pass for a weld if I zoom back like that. That doesn't look too bad. That's a good way to do it. But let's go a little bit further. I'm going to undo a couple times and get back to just my single weld piece. So as weld pushes along, it kind of dips up and drops down in profile. So I'm going to take this piece, I want to actually rotate it like 30 degrees across this axis. So I can't, it's not real easy. If I come in here to rotate it right now, I'm going to get off kind of wonky, weird axes. What I'm going to do is double click to go inside the group. When I go inside the group, you can see how my axes change to inline here. Let's go to View, Component, Edit, and Hide Rest of Model, get rid of everything else. So what this lets me do is grab everything while I'm inside the group, go to Rotate, I can constrain to the green axes and then use this point to pull it this way, like I said, like maybe 30 degrees. There you go. See what I'm going for? That's going to jump up a little bit. I'm going to need to move it a little bit, so I'm going to select it, and we'll move it back a little bit from the corner. We'll move it horizontally and vertically to kind of bury it down into that. Oh yeah, that's what I was looking for. That's better. So I'm going to grab that now, go to Move, Modifier key to make a copy. There we go. See how we're getting that kind of that ripple that happens when welding gets done? So I'll make another copy. That one I won't move quite as far. Next one I'll move a little bit further. Yeah, so that's kind of cool looking. That's what I'm going for. That's what I actually want to see. If I look at it from the edge though, I'm going to do more cleanup, but it looks pretty uniform, right? So it looks a little too good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick this second one, and I'm going to go into Move, and I'm going to give it just a little rotation. I'm going to go every couple, and I'm going to use Move to rotate it back and forth. I could do one after another too. I mean, I could do this. That would work too. But that's going to spin it around so I don't have that, yeah, see, I don't have that uniform look like. See, these ones all line up perfectly. These ones don't. Makes it look a little bit more like it's not perfectly created by a computer program or something. All right, so I'm gonna flip this one. Just a little bit of rotation. Oh yeah, there we go. So you got some uniformness there. Now I'm gonna grab all of these, and I'm going to modify or copy again. So we will have a repeating pattern here, but if we do that, and then I'll copy it one more time, this time I'll move it over a little bit more. All right, so there, that's a good string. That looks like it could make a good weld. So now I can grab all of this. I'm gonna grab all of these now and make it an outer shell. So that's looking pretty cool. That looks nice. I can do a little bit more cleanup here. I can go into the group, triple click, and soften it again. And here I can just crank this up because I want this to look like one bubbly, weird piece. And I can do some deformation at this point too. So like I did before, I can hit scale and I can stretch this out like that. I could even kind of bring it down a little bit. That looks pretty good. And then the final piece is probably just going to be some color. This white on white makes it look odd, but if I come in here with my paint bucket, maybe we'll give a nice light silver, a little darker, to the weld, and then maybe just a slightly darker color to the plate. And still big, this is huge, but if I grab all that and I scale it down, yeah, that could pass for a messy weld. I've welded once, and this is not too far from what I was able to create. That's not a brag, that's just a statement. All right, so if I was to go just a little bit further, if I want to just one more thing I wanted to do, I could make this a reusable piece if I wanted to. One of the things I could do is I could select it, and then I could actually cut it off at these two pieces. So I could select this piece right here, and I could use this piece to trim this. So that's going to break it on that side. Same thing, I'll grab this bottom piece, trim, break it on this side. And what that's going to let me do then is I could actually select that. I could bring it over here. And then let's actually go ahead and use the rotate handles and move to spin that 90 degrees. Oh, I had it. Let's just type 90. I'm sorry, minus 90. And then we'll take that as it is and grab it by that endpoint, drop that endpoint right here with that, and we'd slide it over. And we could actually make that a component then and stretch it as needed or multiply it up so we have multiple pieces. But that is how I would go about making a messy weld inside of SketchUp. So hopefully that satisfied the people who were asking for a weld. Like I said, they weren't looking for a nice cleaned up, you know, super smooth weld. That you would just do, we just put an arc in there, push, pull, or follow me along the two pieces that are being welded. But to make that messy organic, you do have to do something like that. Now, I could have done that with higher resolution geometry too. I could have gone up to like a 24-sided circle, even made a dome and used that. The problem with that is I would have made my model very heavy very quick. So by doing that using 8-sided pieces, I probably still added 1,000 or so entities to that model by putting that weld in, but it would be pretty easy to put like 10,000 plus if I had real smooth organic shapes. When you consider this is going to actually probably be pretty small, it's a great way to create that organic looking geometry in just a few minutes and dump that on there. Did you like that? If so, go ahead, click like down below, and if you haven't already, please click the subscribe button. We create a couple videos, do some live streams every week. You'll be notified of those if you're subscribed. Most importantly though, please leave a comment. Most, if not all of our content nowadays is derived from requests in the comments. We like making videos a lot, but we like them even more when they're showing something you want to see. Thank you.